Hi Carrie! I loved your video this week because you were really direct, asking me some really deep questions. Obviously these questions are things that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I think it's constantly evolving. Right now we're having an unseasonably warm spring. Today was 35 degrees in May, which for Toronto it's unheard of. Everything that has sprouted up, the perennials that in the home that I just moved to in September, is growing tremendously. We're actually digging up a lot of that because we want to have a little bit of control over what grows in the garden. Some of it is really cool. There's some oregano and parsley and mint. All of those herbs are actually invasive, and so what they end up doing is growing to the point where they'll just take over and they really kind of take ownership of the soil. So what I've done is I've taken those and I've transplanted them into independent pots, and what we're gonna do is plant vegetables. I'm really excited to grow my own food this year. The conventional answer when people ask what drives you, because usually the conventional answer is something that people are passionate about, whether it's an art form or their job or their family. It isn't really as important what it is you're doing, but if it's making you feel that sense of being alive. And if it is, then you probably want to learn a little bit more about it, either from the wisdom of somebody else, or you might want to really just enjoy its presence. Something as simple as literally just watching the grass. The moment you start to watch it, sometimes you start to see ladybugs and worms and ants going. And all of a sudden, you start to see that there's an ecology, and you start to notice the way the light's falling on the grass. And you start to just feel things and feel a greater sense of what's going on at all times around you, everywhere. So what makes me happy? Growth. And I mentioned earlier, the best way for growth is understanding your focus, what you want to focus on growing about you and developing about you, by being aware of what it is that makes us feel good naturally. And the other thing is being able to control yourself enough and not let the weeds of society pollute our mind. It's the same way that I'm trying to control this garden and not let the invasive species control the garden. I want to know your answer. What drives you? What makes you happy? And how do you think it's best to take control of your life so that those two answers are in line with your daily actions? Let me know in the comments. Anybody else who's viewing this video, I'd love to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts are on growth, control, and drive, and also happiness. I'll see you on Friday, Carrie.